钦佩，高度钦佩。
So, which historical site that really impressed you?
Which historical site impressed me? Goodness, so many places are coming to mind. Maybe I'll go back to Boston. There is it's sort of both historical and literary. Yeah, there is a monument to Colonel Robert Shaw, who was he led the first regiment of African American soldiers in the Civil War, and there was a quite famous movie made about his life, his experience in the war, and yeah, the soldiers that he led. The film is called Glory. Yeah, and it stars Matthew Broderick and well, Morgan Freeman is in there. Denzel Washington. Yeah, it's a great film. Anyway, Shaw and many of his men died in the battle in South Carolina. But there's a monument in Boston, yeah, to Colonel Shaw, because he came from Boston, and there's a famous poem by Robert Lowell about that monument, and the monument itself is by a famous artist named Augustus St. Gaudens. So the place sort of brings together a lot for me, but it's a beautiful monument, and you see this group of men basically marching into battle, and they kind of know that they're going to die, yeah, but they are determined, and they accept their fate, and they know that it's worth it in a sense, and the monument conveys that. And I don't have a picture of that today, but that's one place that has impressed me. Yeah. Other questions? Other questions?
Yes. Question from Sharon. Sharon Lin.
Sharon Lin. Hi.
Sharon, hi.
So what is it like when you see foreigners studying American literature or art, things from your culture? Because I find that many scholars study cultures from their roots. Also, as a professor at a university in Taiwan, how do you feel seeing so many foreign students studying your culture?
Thank you for the question. Actually, it was funny because when you first said in your question, foreigner, I thought you meant an American, because I'm conditioned now when people say foreigner, I think it means a Westerner. Like, you know, I'm walking through Taipei and I say, oh look, it's a foreigner. It's someone like me. I've been so like kind of you know, sort of trained to think that a foreigner is someone like me, because I have to carry around a card. It's an alien card, right? But anyway, I understand your question, which is that to me, my students in Taiwan are foreigners, or yes, they are foreigners studying American literature. And yeah, how do I feel about that? I feel yeah, I mean, inspired and humbled actually that you know that students would take the time and you know actually make the commitment to to choose a major where they spend a lot of time studying my culture. Actually, that's a big responsibility. And you know, actually, lately, like in the last 6 months or so, I really wonder about American culture, and I hope that it survives, frankly. But I do think that there are many world historical values in the American tradition that we can find you know, in American writing, in political writing, in literary writing, essays, and poetry. And you know, if I can, you know, there aren't that many of us American literary scholars in Taiwan, so I see my job as important. I mean, that I'm one of the people who can sort of speak for that tradition. So it's yeah, it's a privilege, and you know, when some students you know, take an interest, that's very gratifying. Yeah.
Maybe one more.
Okay, one more from Chen Lianyu.
英语 Andy, yes. Hi, Andy.
Anna.
Yes.
Yeah.
He asks, lots of poem writers are romantic, so do you think you are romantic as well? Have you ever done any craziest thing before, like romantic poem writers before?
Wow. Can you think of anything crazy that I've done? I came to Taiwan. That took some romance. Yeah, I mean, I think in answer to the first part of the question, I think I'm a romantic in the sense that I chose a career where there's not a great deal of money, but there are the things that keep me going, which is ideas and cultures interacting and strong emotions. I mean, ultimately, I think I'm interested in literature because it makes me feel in new ways, and yeah, the Romantics were big on feeling. So I guess I'm a romantic, and I'm not sure. I mean, the Romantics did crazy things. Some of them did, yeah. Like some of them didn't. I mean, Thoreau, you could say it was crazy for him to build his own house, and no, actually I haven't done stuff like that. But I guess what I do like to do what Thoreau does, which is to be a tourist in my hometown. I mean, I like nothing better, and I don't have time for this anymore. But when I was younger, I would do things like I went to graduate school in Philadelphia, and I would just go to New York without any particular plan. And I'd have a camera, and I would just walk, and I'd have a backpack, and I would see where I ended up. And so I certainly identify with that kind of sense of freedom and taking life as it comes. So I've never done anything that crazy, but I want to keep my job.
Thank you. I think maybe one last one. Do we have time for one more? Yes, one more.
From Chen Yuqi.
Yuqi, hello Yuqi.
She asks, what do you think about the difference between American literature and Taiwanese literature?
That assumes I know something about Taiwanese literature, which I don't. I mean, I do love the Taiwanese films that I've seen, and if we could see Taiwanese film as a kind of extension of Taiwanese literature, I would say that films. I love films that are about Taipei. I think that actually there's a film that I started watching, and I haven't had any time to finish it, but it's the one that we were discussing,
right?
Which is called Somewhere I Have Never Traveled, which I think is from 2009. And actually, don't tell me what happens at the end, because I haven't seen the whole thing. But I started watching the film because, do you remember the name of the director? But anyway, the film is, the title of the film is taken from a poem by E.E. Cummings, the great, one of the great 20th century modernists. He's the one who uses a lot of lowercase letters, right? E.E. Cummings. But anyway, he has a beautiful, very romantic poem, a love poem, and the title of the Taiwanese film is taken from the poem, and actually I understand that the poem is read in the film in English, but I didn't get to that part yet, so don't ruin it for me. So there, I mean, that's definitely a crossover between Taiwanese literature film and American literature. So yeah, maybe they have some similarities.
Thank you so much. Professor. I think there's so many more things that we can talk about, but because of the time, I'm afraid our broadcast needs to come to an end. I really want to thank Professor Murphy for being here today. I think I can speak for everyone here in this room, in this department. We feel very privileged that you're with us here today and here in Taiwan. So thank you, Professor.
Privilege is all mine. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all.
We'll see you all next week. Father Daniel Bauer will be on the show.
Okay.
See you all next week. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
就不要暂停。